Coming up on this week's episode of Hold All Tickets, we look at the last 4 races at Eagle Farm where Adam and I are actually lining up. We also debate a horse name, which I think is absolutely shizen, but Adam is a big fan. And Adam, you are going odds hunting in Rose Hill.
I have. I've looked everywhere for some good odds, and I've got us a $6.50 best bet.
$6.50 best bet. You'll have to tune in now to find out who Adam is tipping. Welcome to this week's edition of Hold All Tickets, brought to you by BoomBet. Great fixed odds, more value, more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. I'm your host, James Lamb, joined by Adam Brett, who's been coughing and spluttering, hoping he'll be able to get through the show. How are you feeling?
I've popped a few cold and flu tablets, so we'll see how we go.
All right. The voice was a bit squeaky yesterday. It's a bit more gruff today.
Yep. I'm definitely a 1-800 number right here.
Going through puberty again. Plenty to get through this week. We'll have a look at the last 4 races at Eagle Farm, the quaddie legs there. 2 of those being Group 1s, plus the meetings at Rose Hill and Sandown Hillside. Also have this week's Self-trumpeters and the yays or nays. Bring a bit of lightness to the yays or nays this week, not tackling the big political issues. We'll kick things off with the Self-trumpeters, but before we do, Thoroughbred Sales is the #1 online horse platform for owners looking to buy a racehorse. With over 130 trainers and syndicators to choose from, horses will be eligible to run in their new $4 million race series with over 400 races having a bonus. We'll get into the trumpeters for this week. 1 vote, Cameron Happ, who is part of the RaceNet stable. Last Friday, 7 Horse Racing put up a tweet asking who the most underrated jockey in Australia was. Cam replied with @Declan Bates, so that was all. And then 3 days later, Bates rode 4 winners at Swan Hill. And Cam produced a cheeky little quote tweet of himself with the caption, "Fill up." I don't know if you can claim that 3 days later, but anyway,
it's a stretch, but
he has. He gets 1 vote for that. 1 vote, Sean O'Sullivan. Unique trumpet, this one. Sean posted post-game, so this was after the Brisbane-Adelaide game. Brisbane $2.60 was the bet of the year, and I stand by that, albeit they lost. How did they not win that? It's like they knew I was on. So I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone
How do you have a bet of the year that loses?
He's trumpeted a loss.
Yeah.
So first time I've seen that, he gets 1 vote for that unique trumpet. 1 vote, Bren O'Brien, former boss of mine. Sorry, Bren, but I've got to give you a vote here. He's gone the staged, candid photo. So he's in the passenger seat of a car. He's tapping away on his laptop while on the phone, looking very busy. And presumably the driver of the car has taken a photo of Bren, hard at work. And Bren's gone with the caption, "Taking the straight wherever, whenever." Nice little shout out to Shakira there. Whenever, wherever, brand to a new level, publishing the Friday newsletter on the road through Denali. So it's a hard at work sort of LinkedIn style trumpet from Bren. So he gets 1 vote for that.
He's getting around himself at the moment.
Yep, busy boy. 3 votes, Jackson Oldham. This is a deserved trumpet, but a trumpet all the same. He went a couple of times as well. So he somehow got odds of $1,000 for Fire of Etna in the run at Flemington last Saturday. She zoomed through along the fence and got the chocolates there. He posted his Betfair slip with 1,000s looked a tad big, that winner at Flemington at Betfair. So a nice little trumpet there. And he's followed up a few days later. Betfair posted the race replay of Fire of Etna winning, and he's quote tweeted again with the bet slip. And he's got a gif of an athlete yelling, "I am him." I don't know, is that a common? I think I've seen that meme around, Yep. So got around himself twice there.
He's gone there.
3 votes for Jacko, "I'm him." I enjoyed that.
Lucky to get away with 3.
4 votes. Finally to round us out this week, Damien Ratcliffe, past winner of this award. He's known to give his own bugle a good blow, and he's gone again. He posted 2 golf competition results from over the weekend with the caption, "If I'm not mistaken, new Essendon recruit Archie May won today's comp on the North Course at Sandhurst, and yours truly won the comp on the championship course." So he's got the 2 leaderboards there side by side. Let's be honest, Damo, you couldn't give a rat's ass about Archie May. It was all about you. Amusingly, he actually posted a follow-up tweet a couple of days later that said, "Perhaps I was mistaken. May have been hard for Archie to squeeze in a round of golf before a 2 p.m. VFL game." So it wasn't even him.
Jesus.
So he just basically put up his own scorecard and said, "Look at me, get around me." Nice work there for Damo. He gets 4 votes. I'll have to check where he sits on the overall leaderboard, but
You've missed one.
who?
You from last week.
Yeah, I was going to give myself 2, wasn't I?
Yeah.
All right, 2
You
votes
tried to get away
for
with that one,
James
didn't
Lamb.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it actually slipped my mind.
Yep. Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe you.
That leads us to the recap. I might be giving myself more votes.
May well.
I don't want to say I carried us again, but we'll get into
But
the
you just
recap. We do need to hold ourselves accountable. We'll start with the guru because he's not here to defend himself. He was tipping at Ramwick. His best bet was Federer, who was a big drifter in betting and served up a double fault at the Fed. That was pretty stinky stuff there. Next best was Storm the Ramparts, though. That was 350. Nice win after sitting just off the leaders. So he's atoned there.
That shortened a fair bit. I think when he was talking last week, it was at 650.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I only looked at the on-course flux and it was pretty steady around 350s. And his value was Change My Address, who did absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Donuts there. My set at Flemington, Jimmy the Bear was very heavily backed, drifted back, was never really
Never in
the
it?
hunt. No. Got home okay for second, but never looked like winning. Next best, Miss Olay.
Great run.
I've put it down as $2. You reckon I'm being generous with that?
$1.85 by the end of it. But yeah.
Good little filly. That was a tough win. And the best value was Marble 9, who was 7 into 380. Raced up on the speed and thankfully kept on kicking. So that was a good one. Eagle Farm, best bet, Winner's Edge.
Didn't even look like winning.
Well, led.
Yeah,
Just knocked
it
up.
never looked like it was going to hold on.
Yep.
So
Next best, this one was a lot better. Transatlantic, 5 into $2.80.
easy watch, as I said. I was not disappointed with that one at all.
That was good. And
One
your
more
value.
scratching and it might get a run in the Stradbroke.
Yeah. Needs one more to come out.
Yep.
So fingers crossed there. And the Hidden Wealth was your best value.
Oh,
I've put it down as a cross. It did run second.
it did run second.
Heavily backed, but like I said to Guru last week, you can't eat odds.
No.
So you were.
And Father James Lamb, I have a confession to make.
Mm,
I may have gone a little bit early on this one. I was
saying it was the
watching
best
it.
horse in Australia.
No, watching it. Watching the run.
You went the early crow.
Went the early crow.
Oh,
400 out. I was up and about. I was calling it.
That's bold, given that it was front page that was sitting on its outside. Who's a very tough old bugger.
Yep. Surrounded by about 10 dads from basketball who proceeded to give it to me for the rest of the afternoon because they had watched the show.
Yep.
So it was not good. I have sinned.
You've got what you deserve there.
I got what I deserved.
It never. I mean, it was travelling okay, but it wasn't early crow worthy.
I thought it had another turn. I thought it was going to kick into another gear. I thought it would just go, but it didn't. And it got run over. So shame on me.
Time to get into the tips for racing this Saturday. We'll start with the thoughts of our sponsor, BoomBet. Great fixed odds, more value, more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. Who is the boom horse this Saturday?
The boom horse this weekend is War Machine. So log into your BoomBet account. You can check it out in there. I think the stake's up to $10, but they are offering some pretty good odds. Inflated
odds for the Straddy favourite. Any notes from Chris regarding the early betting action anywhere in Oz?
Yeah, interestingly, the race 6, the JJ Atkins, Cool Archie is another fave that's looking to be a little short in the market. So watch that one to potentially drift. And there's been a bit of action for graft burners too.
Okay.
So I think that's the main one. And then looking at the Stradbroke, War Machine, they haven't had much love, bit of love for Golden Mile and Komochi coming through. But those two races seem to be the one where the action is.
Speaking of, we'll look at the JJ Atkins first of all. I think we might be lining up here, if I'm not mistaken. Who are you tipping?
I've gone with number 8, Hidden Achievement.
Yes, we are lining up.
You are lining up. Well, there you go. So it's bound to lose. Hopefully it gets a good run. Look, I really like this. It's got a nice turn of foot in all conditions. It's one in the soft, the heavy, and now on a good track. I think it's got a hell of a lot of potential sitting with J-Mac on board to just get that nice run through. Doesn't have to do much work at barrier 6, so I'm backing it in.
Yeah, beaten Fave in New South Wales last start, but it was still a good effort there, and that was a heavy 9. So back to a firmer surface here, and yeah, a couple of very nice gear changes. Blinkers first time, J-Mac first time, and barrier 6. So enough there for me to back Hidden Achievement.
When you're running into a race.
Ticks a couple of boxes. Race 2. Race 7 is the Group 2 Dane Ripper Stakes. I reckon we're lining up again.
We are 2 for 2 here. After Firestorm came out of the Stradbroke. I've backed it in here.
Yep.
So I just think the smart move is you've looked at the Stradbroke, gone Group 1 might be a bit too classy for it. So fall back into the Group 2, probably automatic favourite from what I'm seeing at the moment. And let's face it, it's a pretty good horse. Once again, J-Mac on board.
Yep. Yeah, I thought she was a live chance in the Stratty, so I've got to be with her here.
Yeah.
Never in the hunt in the Group 1 Donny last start, but her fresh work is excellent. 5 goes, 4 first up wins, including a big one in the Group 2 Millie Fox last preparation, which is nice form for this. And I don't actually mind the wide gate because she's a horse that can really get motoring on the outside of runners. I'd rather see her covering a little bit of extra ground rather than ducking and weaving for runs. So Firestorm for me.
I've also had a look around Abounding and Alentia as well. So that might be where I play for the trifecta.
All right, spreading it. Race 8, Group 1 Stradbroke Handicap, Queensland's biggest race.
Have we gone 3 for 3?
No, we have not.
We have not. Okay.
Same stable, but you're going for a bit more value than I am.
I am, but I actually think it's the classier horse. So I know where you're going to go, and we'll have that debate in a second, but I think Rise at Dawn, number 13, is the one for me, dropping from 59 down to 52.5, as we said in the runner by runner yesterday. It's had some really strong showings in Group 1 races too, which I like. And second up, enjoys this trip, 1-3 from 4. Can't really go wrong. War Machine is the big danger. I think there's a bit of hype around War Machine rather than performance, but you'll tell me I'm wrong. But I'm sticking with Rise at Dawn.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with the hype. I mean, it can only beat what's been put in front of it. I think it's won 6 from 13 or something to this stage. So I'll keep stepping up to the mark. This is definitely War Machine's biggest test so far. But yeah, smashed them in the BRC Sprint, which is generally an okay reference for this race. Likely to get a good track and does look very dangerous with only 53. But I do agree, Rise at Dawn is definitely a danger. So that looks a good 2-horse play, I think, because we're getting double figure odds for Rise at Dawn. And War Machine, I agree with Boombet, will drift a bit more than what we're currently seeing displayed. So
now we usually talk about if Bjorn Baker gets up, you want to be around him. Can you imagine that these two go 1-2? I would want to be with the Hayes boys all night. That will be fun.
Bjorn does have one in there. He's got Robusto, but
do you give that a chance?
Not really. No, not from the barrier.
No,
unfortunately. Race 9, the Q22, a very rich Group 2 race. For me, Fawkner Park. Which way are you going?
You know which way I'm going because you gave me a bit of lip before we came on.
I just wanted you to say it.
I've gone back to the well with
Can't believe my ears.
I could be in for a little bit here, but I just think the Doom and Cup run was solid enough for me to think that going back on a firmer track might give it
sucked in again.
Bit, but I do think that it'll be 1, 2, 3, Fawkner Park, Kovalika and Militarized coming down the straight. So between those 3, I'm going to load up on that trifecta.
All right, you'll be joining the meeting group for Kovalika Desperates next week.
I might be chairing it the way I'm going.
Yeah, I should mention Fawkner Park. I actually think he's the best bet on the card here. If you look at his recent form, boasts a third to Via Sustina over 2,000 and a couple of seconds to Antino. Those two are basically the favourites for the Cox Plate. So that is elite form. I think if he can't beat this pretty small field at weight for age level, I'm not sure where his next win is going to come from because it's only going to get harder for him in the spring for a horse with his handicap rating. So Fawkner Park has to get it done on Saturday. Rose Hill, let's go there. There's a bit of meat on the bone here in this set. Nice prices.
I have got some nice prices in here.
Start with your best bet.
It's it's a 10 race card. So I've searched a bit of everywhere. I've gone best bet with race 5, number 9, King's Secret, currently paying $6.50. It's been flying of late. It does like the softer track. 2 at distance, 1 at 1 at the track. Impressive sectionals in the challenging conditions last 2 start. Its biggest challenge is going to be Codetta, but I think King's Secret's just got the form to blow past it.
$6.50, very nice. Your next best is currently showing $8.50.
Yeah, gone wide again. Changing of the guard, number 1. So X8 O'Brien horse, I really like horses that have been their second prep in Australia. So the last prep wasn't eye-catching or anything else, but it's run 2,400 to 3,200 over in the UK. So I'm expecting it to be able to pick up in its second prep here and show what it's really made of. In the UK, it has some really good first up form, so I'm thinking that might come into it this weekend as well.
Bit more time to acclimatise. And your value goes around in race 4.
I almost put this down as my best bet until it was showing up as 12. I really like this one. So if I was going to say the value bet play is my biggest play of the day, this would be it. Is number 6, Don't Forget Jack, coming out of barrier 9. Forgive its last start in the heavy track. That was just not what this horse is made of. It's 3 and 3 in a soft track, looks to want a bit of extra distance. Going up into the 1400 will really suit. And the 2 kilo claim for Braith will really help. So I actually think Don't Forget Jack might be my best one for the day, even though I'm putting it down as the value bet.
Very promising young apprentice, Braith Knock, Woody, as they call him, or as I've just called him. Sandown Hillside.
Did you just nickname him?
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Sandown Hillside, best bets. My best bet race 2, number 5, Terra Lee. I think the last 2 losing margins are very unfair to this horse. 3 lengths at Sandown last start, 5 lengths at Caulfield. Caulfield was a horror show. It was bailed up on the inside, never saw daylight at any stage, and then copped a pretty bad steer from a wide gate. Sandown last start, went forward, went back, went forward again, was just stuck in no man's land for the entire race, but actually found the line quite well there and doesn't have the handy aha to chase down here. So I think Terra Lee can bounce back. Speaking of aha, it goes around in race 3 and I'm sticking with. I tipped it last Saturday in a stronger race, but scratched in favour of this 1400 metre race. Had a pretty wide gate there at Flemington, but has come up with barrier 2 here. So does look a more suitable assignment.
I like this tip.
Yeah, third to Medaya before romping home over this route last start. Takes on the boys here, which is a new challenge, but 51 kilos, low draw, looks pretty dangerous.
Can't win this. There's got to be question marks.
Potentially. It has been up for a while, though. That's the little question mark. So hopefully they haven't gone one run too many. The value, I'm quite keen on this horse if it leads. So I think I'll know my fate after the first 100 metres or so. So race 7, number 5, Ellswood. Looking at this race, and there just doesn't look to be any speed at all. They all sort of settle midfield or worse. This horse has a little bit of tactical speed, so hoping it leads from barrier 2. He was only beaten 2.6 lengths as 100 to 1 pop on resumption. This race is far more suitable. He jumps from 1400 to 1800, so it's a quick jump in distance, but he's only had 1 second up run for Gavin Bedgood, and he won it, scoring over the Ballarat Mile last preparation. So I think if he leads...
You can't put asterisks next to what you've done.
No, you can.
You can't.
Well,
So-
people like to bet in the run. So
okay. Fair
if
enough.
it jumps and leads, then get on.
Yep. So we'll know after the first 200-300.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't take a sit, but I don't think they will. He's run his best races.
What are its odds right now?
$13 last time I looked.
Healthy.
Yep.
Okay.
That is all the tips for this Saturday. Let's get into the yays or nays for this week. Big news this week was James Cummings announcing that he's heading off to Hong Kong next season. So the yay or nay is him leaving Australia is a disappointing result for racing in this country. Yay or nay?
Yeah, it is. Yay, definitely. You look at kind of where racing in Australia is currently, you want young trainers like this hanging around. And when you start to see them start going into Hong Kong, you get it. There's good money over there. There's great facilities. It's actually a really great setup over in Hong Kong, so I can completely understand, having been there as well, why you'd want to make the change. It is just disappointing for Australia. You don't want to see more of this. I think we're now 2 young trainers have moved over into Hong Kong now. You want to keep them here. Does this play into what's happening from a political standpoint in New South Wales, Victoria, and some of the challenges up in Queensland? I'm not sure, but there's a bit of instability around where they're going to train. It's disappointing that the Cummings name is going to go and sit in Hong Kong.
I agree. I think the biggest thing is, he's a good young trainer and a big name in racing. The Cummings name is synonymous with racing here. I saw a few comments on social media yesterday saying that it's going to make the super stables, Mara and Waller, even bigger. I don't necessarily agree with that. But I do think that it is disappointing. I really did want to see how he went against the big guns without the backing of Godolphin.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to wait until he eventually gets back from Hong Kong, whenever that is.
I'm hoping there's no more.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe Bjorn.
No.
He's a bit loose for Hong Kong.
Yeah.
A book about King Callow at the end of his racing career would outsell any of his rivals biographies or autobiographies. Yay or nay?
You tell me first on this one.
Yay. I would definitely read the King's biography ahead of any other jock in Australia. He's just a very loose unit who's a bit of a magnet for trouble. I won't read out all of the Callow files because we'll be here all day, but there's a few things that would make the book. The most recent chapter would be punching on with fellow jockey Kyle Wilson-Taylor at the races, getting locked up in a Malaysian jail, cutting off Nick Hall's man bun in the jockey's room.
That's just funny though.
I don't think Nick saw the funny side of it. Neither did the steward at the time. And a racing one, he copped an all-time spray from Lee Friedman at Flemington one day. And then he won the Vic Derby a few races later for him when riding the horse completely against Lee's instructions. So if I think it was Benicio, if that had lost, it would have been, I don't know if he ever would have ridden for Lee Friedman again, but thankfully he got the job done. But yes, I would read King Callow's book in a heartbeat.
I would read it, but would it outsell most of his rivals? Probably not. I think it's good for us who know a bit about it.
Yeah.
I think there's some bigger personalities that
maybe
not
as mainstream. Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's a fair comment. Now this one, 2 horse names that have raced over the last week. I want a yay or nay whether they are good names or not. So are they good or are they shizen? Because the first one, Alex mentioned this horse on the show a couple of weeks ago and said he hates the name.
Yep.
Grafter Burners. Good name or bad name?
I think it's a good name.
I'm a fan. I think it lends itself to a good call if it's coming.
I've got a smile on the face because this next one's a belter.
A barnstorming finish.
Yep.
This one, Justin Timber Prawn.
That's great.
Really? You like it?
I love it.
Yep. Really?
Yep.
I think it's actually the worst name in racing. I
always think of it from the perspective of hearing the race caller actually have to call it out. And you get some very unusual names at the race caller. And Matt Hill's one of the best. He can do it with a straight face, not miss, but still wind it into a joke in some way, shape, or form. I think they're amusing. I think there should be more of it.
I don't get it. Is there a reference that I'm not getting? Because
he's just playing on Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, Timberlake.
Yeah.
So why isn't it Timber Creek or Timber Dam or
I'm not sure.
Timber Sea? Why is it Timber Prawn?
Assuming they're just trying to take the piss out of his name, which I don't mind. I don't mind.
Well, good on them because it made its debut as a 7-year-old not that long ago and won. So the patient owners don't know about the name, but good on them for getting Justin Timber Prawn to the races.
I think I want to meet the people who actually approve the names.
Yeah,
some of the names
they can't really knock it back. It's not offensive.
Well, some of the ones that are coming through at the moment are cleverly offensive. But you look at it and you go, the person who looked at that doesn't quite get it.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are creative and clever that I quite enjoy.
Yeah. Price Bloodstock have the cleverest names, in my opinion. You made it. You made through the show without coughing up a lung or losing your voice.
Once we switch off, I'm going to have a good old cough.
Yep.
But yes, got through it. And hopefully we've given some winners this week.
Hopefully we have lined up across the Queensland races.
I've enjoyed the carnival.
Yeah.
Queensland Carnival. They were a bit unlucky. They've been a bit unlucky with the track conditions they've had.
It's gone for a while.
But it's nice to see the last 2 weekends they've got some decent weather and getting a decent track.
Yes, no, very good. Thank you. Thank you also to our sponsors, BoomBet. Great fixed odds, more value, more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. If you enjoy listening or watching Hold All Tickets, give us a like and a follow on our various platforms, Punters YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram. Leave a review if you're feeling like that. And good luck backing a winner on Saturday. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.